Good evening, everyone. This is the BloomCast. It is February 23, the year of Satoshi 2021. It is episode 42. We are coming to you live from our living rooms, our bedrooms, maybe even our restrooms. My name is Luis. I'm one of the founders of Bloom Solutions. Welcome, everyone. This is a really cool special episode. We've got a bunch of new faces. We've got a new sponsor. We've got a pretty interesting conversation lined up for you. And I think that you are all going to have a pretty educational time. So I'm going to introduce our guests tonight. With us again for the second time in a row, Aldrin Rabino, Crypto Fortune. Thank you so much for joining. Aldrin is going to be telling us why the market is bleeding red tonight.
Yeah.
Joining us, the CEO of PDAX, Nichelle Gaba. Nichelle has been having a pretty interesting last few days. We're going to dive into all of those details later on in the show. And we're going to be taking a lot of user questions. And our last guest, first-time guest of the BloomCast, Andrew Magpantay from Trust Wallet. Andrew, what's your role in Trust Wallet?
Oh, I'm handling support and community management for Trust Wallet.
Nice. So Andrew actually approached me last week as part of yung community management role niya. And he was saying that he wanted to do a sponsorship of the BloomCast episode, one of the BloomCast episodes. So it was kind of perfect good time for us to have a new sponsor. Trust Wallet is sponsoring 25,000 pesos worth of TWT, which is the Trust token. And we're going to be giving that away in a bunch of different times throughout the show. So we're not going to wait until the very end. No? So we're going to do a few, maybe in the first half of the show, and then another set maybe a little bit later, and then the final set at the very end. And the reason why we're going to do that is because I know you guys, you always end up watching at the end because you know that's when we do the raffle draw. So we're going to start to space it out a little bit. And also so we can make sure that everyone gets a fair shot at this. Andrew, since it's your first time on the BloomCast, kwento mo kung paano ka nag-start sa crypto. I know that you said 2017 was when you got started, or was it even earlier than that?
Yes. So, hello guys. Andrew here. I'm from Trust Wallet. So, nagsimula ako sa crypto during the Bitcoin pump then, around late 2017. So, at that time talaga, nasa office kami na nag-usap kami. But biglang nagkaroon ng value to Bitcoin. And then, eventually, nag-try ako mag-invest konti. Kasi wala pa naman ako talagang pwedeng ilaan doon. So, eventually, nag-crash. Yun. Doon ko first time kung maranasang magkaroon ng pabagsak sa investment ko. So, nagtaka talaga ako. At that time, marami din mga airdrops. So, natutunan ko maghanap ng mga airdrops, join sa mga forums. So, mostly self-study talaga. Until eventually, around 2019, nung pinafollow ko halos most yung mga crypto Twitter accounts na, and then ito si Trust Wallet, nag-post sila na may hiring sila ng mga developers. And then, minessage ko, nag-reply ako doon sa post. Then, sabi ko, baka may need kayo ng customer service or customer support. So, from that day on, dire-diretso na yung pagpasok ko sa crypto. Good thing I was already immersed in the tech, and I've been working as a call center agent for more than 10 years, supervisor actually. And then, ayun, got hired and joined the team.
Okay. Sige, so throughout the episode, we'll keep talking a little bit about some of the features of Trust Wallet. Kasi I know that some of our audience members are probably already familiar with it because it is the official wallet of Binance. But I want to kind of talk specifically about some of the key features. So we'll do that throughout the show. But in the meantime, sige, let's do the obvious thing that we need to talk about, which is Bitcoin is back below $50,000. So I screenshotted this headline just because I thought it was so funny. It's Bitcoin falls below 50,000, hits lowest since mid-February. Guys, mid-February was 7 days ago. So parang in order just to give you a headline, they had to say this is the lowest it's been in the last 7 days. I mean, that's not really much. I mean, that's a very normal thing for Bitcoin to do, no? To fluctuate up and down, up and down. But like the mainstream media, this is from Reuters, the mainstream media is making it seem as if it's such a massive change. Aldrin, I know that you wanted to talk about parang what's happening with the markets. I wanted to show one other screen lang. When people are in the chat are saying that it's a very red day. This is a pretty red day. There's not a single token on my screen right now that is green. Most of the top 25 are red. I saw someone in the chat say that TWT lang yung malakas. Is it green today? Or is it also red? I don't actually know what the price is right now, Andrew. Do you know?
Check natin.
Sige, let's give it to Let's give it to Aldrin, and he can tell us what's going on with the market. Aldrin, do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Sige,
Share
sige.
my screen here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll add you now. Okay, there you go. So,
Okay.
yup, it's red. What's
Yeah.
happening?
So, yeah. Personally, guys, I just wanted to share my perspective dito kasi, ayun nga, this technical analysis is just more on my own perspective and not financial advice totally. So, yun, oscillators perspective kasi dito from volume, CCI and RSI is losing momentum na eh. So, last day around weekend, sabi ko dito once natamaan niya yung area ng 53 nga yung targets ko eh, pero after that
Kept
nag-penetrate pa
going
sa
up.
upside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So dito guys, as we can see sa volume is going down. So yung momentum
Right.
niya is going down na. And then RSI, overbought territory, pero kung makikita natin dito, gusto niya mag-penetrate, pero ito kasi is a component to ng tinatawag natin na regular divergence between price action and oscillators na tinatawag. Ito yung RSI, which is going down, and then price action is going up. So, yeah, it's totally bearish technical analysis or a bearish pattern to for BTC upon hitting this territory, this area for me. Kasi ito yung pinaka-initial targets kay around this area. Mahirap naman na sabihin natin around 58. Yung initial ko talaga dito is 53 area. Possible na magkaroon ng decline pero it goes up pa. Itong nangyari kay BTC for me is healthy correction kasi hindi naman pwede na it will go upside lang. So kailangan niya muna mag-correct.
Forever.
Yeah, it's a component of the uptrend move na tinatawag. So we have here the what we call impulsive move. And then after that, corrective move. So I'm seeing this, or I'm just expecting the next impulse move wherein nangyari yan. And then after that, corrective move yung mangyayari dyan wherein nangyari nga siya. So yung pinaka-support area ko dito is something like previous resistance. Yan yung tinatawag natin na roll reversal. So basically 40k territory around this area. So itong pattern na to, since I've been trading the past few years na din, nakikita ko na din to way back 2017 wherein we have here the impulse corrective. So yeah, for me, this is a healthy correction lang. Something like tingin ko dito, baka pwede siyang bumalik around 40 territory for a good retracement, healthy retracement. So, yun,
Okay.
oscillators is going down and price action is going up. So, it's a bearish pattern for chart analysis or technical analysis. Yeah.
Okay. Sige. So let's so I guess that means I don't have to ask you what you think the price is gonna be next Tuesday. Or is that your what do you think? Is it gonna be in the low 40s range?
Yeah, I think below 40 something, yeah. Below 40.
Okay.
I below 40 around that era for 45 something, 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who have not seen the BloomCast before, it's a tradition that every week we ask our guests what they think the price of Bitcoin is going to be during the next BloomCast episode, which is exactly 7 days away. No? So next Tuesday at exactly this time. So Aldrin is saying, give me a more specific number para ano ka. You have like an actual amount in mind.
Something like 46 something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's an impulse pa siguro dito
Okay.
before it goes
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Something like kagaya nung nangyari dito previous. Corrective move.
Okay. Okay. Aldrin Rabino, $46,000 Bitcoin next Tuesday. Andrew Magpantay, what do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be 7 days from now during the next BloomCast episode? Are you an
Okay.
optimist? Are you a pessimist?
Personal opinion ko lang to, guys. Huwag kayo makikinig sa akin dahil wala din akong understanding sa movement ng markets. Maybe hula analysis lang, ginagamit ko talaga. But to answer the question earlier about PWT, bagsak din siya, down 15%.
Okay.
Hindi ko rin talaga binabantayan eh.
Okay. Sige.
But
All right,
my
sige.
prediction,
Bitcoin price. Yeah.
I would say optimistic pa rin ako. Parang ang
Okay.
CCC sabi niya, I'm always bullish, maybe 60K or higher, 65. Ganun.
Whew, wow. All right. There
Why
you
not?
go. Yeah, why not? Okay, sige. Well, I mean, na-inspire ako kay Andrew. Nichelle Gaba, where do you think Bitcoin price is going to be at? Obviously, this is not financial advice, guys. By the way, we're just having fun here. The reason why we're doing this is just so we have something to talk about next week and then make fun of each other if we don't get the price right. By the way, I bet 53,000 last week. So obviously, very far away. Anyway, Nichelle, you're on mute, huh?
Okay. I'm not very good at price forecasts, but let me give it a shot. No, I think
Sige.
I definitely think now we're gonna go back up just because of more positive news that's gonna come out of the institutions. So I'm thinking maybe 54, 55.
Wow. Okay. All right. There's definitely more optimists here than I thought. So I want to stay with you guys. So I think that we'll be back above 50 next week. I don't think it's going to be strongly above 50 though. I think it's going to kind of flounder a little bit, which is fine because honestly, $50,000, $1.5 trillion market cap for the crypto industry. These are big numbers, no? And I think that in order for Bitcoin to stabilize in that range, needs a little bit more time. It did kind of, the run-up was fast, no? And we knew naman na no matter what happens with this stuff, it has to come down in order to stabilize a little bit. So yun nga, medyo mabilis nga siya recently. So I would think maybe I'm gonna be in the 52 range, so just a little bit less than my very optimistic 53 last week. So basically, walang naniwala kay Aldrin dun sa analysis niya. So we will all stand corrected. We'll all be very embarrassed pag when next week comes around and Aldrin was actually correct na nga siya, nasa mid-40s nga siya. Aldrin, do you think that the rest of the market will remain kind of in that state na medyo still kind of red by next week? Kasi, Bitcoin is one thing, but, I mean, Ethereum also went down, obviously, but do you think that, we'll all be red pa rin?
Yeah, obviously pag decline kasi si BTC, which is the dominant in crypto, yung mga nasa baba niya will follow eh. Except lang if doon sa mga alt or crypto na something like there's a fundamental updates like mainnets or upgrades sa kanilang networks. So yun, siguro yun lang yung inverse correlation ni BTC. Pero other than that, Ethereum high or yung mga high market cap parang nagko-correlate sila eh once BTC
Right.
goes down.
Okay. Yeah, and that sounds fair. I think that there's probably even parang, I mean, with people like maybe Bloom or PDAX, we can see differences in business volume during days like this. Either people are starting to become hesitant when they're selling, or they're becoming, or I guess the more positive way to look at it, when it dips like this, people start making deposits to us because they're trying to take advantage of the dip. No, this is where the BTFD acronym comes from, buy the fucking dip. What do you think, Michelle? Do you think this is the time to be buying that dip?
Well, I anyone's guess for sure, but I've always been long-term bullish, as you are. You also, I think, long-term bullish. So, in my opinion, I've always been. I'd always go for just cost averaging, right? So,
Yeah.
setting aside a
Yeah.
certain amount over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you do you advocate for monthly cost averaging? Is that the time frame that you would usually do that for?
Actually, if I were a financial advisor, I'd say that you match your deposits with your inflows. So if you have a monthly salary,
That
then
makes
that's when you
sense.
hire your deposits. Yeah.
Right, right. And that's where the monthly cost averaging flow comes from. So if people in the chat aren't familiar with what we're talking about, when you say cost averaging, parang you don't use all of your available funds to buy Bitcoin or whatever other crypto asset. You don't use it na one time, big time. What you do is you do regular buys, maybe at the start of every month, for example, let's say that every first Monday of the month, ganon, a certain amount, and then ano lang yon, parang paulit-ulit mo lang siya ginagawa. And in theory, what happens is you protect yourself from these very large spikes or drops because ina-average out mo siya. So I'm not sure if so the thing is, I guess the thing I'm not sure about is what happens when you do cost averaging during a year like this, no? Because kind of the price between December, January, and February were so vastly different. I'm not really sure you would have hit the benefit of cost averaging. Yeah. I don't. Anyway, it's just
Not in the short term for sure. So cost averaging is normally done if you have a very long term view of the instrument. So parang like a blue chip stock, for example. These are good items to cost average. But in crypto world, when you're in 1 week and then out the next, probably not a profitable strategy.
Yeah, you're not really gonna. Yeah. Oo nga. You would just be. It would basically be like parang blindly entering, which is kind of strange also. Okay, sige. Let's talk a little bit about our sponsor for this week. I wanted to do a segment quickly on Trust Wallet again. So we're gonna talk about some of the features that I just discovered recently, actually. So just gonna bounce right to it here. By the way, if you've never seen a screenshot of Trust Wallet, this is what it looks like. Andrew, how many coins do you guys support now? I think I've lost track of how many it is.
As of writing, around 40 plus blockchains. And then, syempre,
Okay.
mayroong mga tokens like ERC20, BEP20.
Yeah.
It's 100,000s, I guess. We cannot really
Jeez. Wow. Okay.
fathom it.
All right. So
There's a lot of
so a lot.
assets.
So basically, because you support ERC20, you support basically every ERC20 token, technically speaking. Is that right?
Yeah. Lalabas siya automatically. Actually, ang term nila is automatically. Once ma-send siya sa app, it will show up. It might not have a logo. So,
Right.
At that
Right.
point, we need to review it first, check yung background ng token before it officially shows up and with the token price. Ganun.
Right. I see. I get it. Okay. That makes sense. So, so I guess the one way to look at Trust Wallet nga is it's that wallet that will allow you to hold almost every token you can think of, which is pretty cool. And then I was looking at these two features specifically. The first one really jumped out at me. So you can buy with a credit card using Trust Wallet. Can you explain to us that process a little bit? It also says get your first $50. Does that mean na meron siyang maximum buy kasi?
Yung crypto purchases nga, being that it's a decentralized wallet, the only way na para makapagpasok ka ng funds is through a credit card or debit card. Minimum is
Okay.
$50, maximum is
minimum.
$2,000. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And ang
Okay.
partners namin sa pag-purchase ng through credit card is MoonPay, Simplex, Wire, and may yung pa isa yung Mercurio. Yeah, pali apat sila.
Okay, so can you use like a Philippine credit card or debit card for this? Is that possible?
Yeah. I know
Okay.
some of my friends tried that.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So I might actually try this at one point using like yung yung Paymaya na debit card. Because I can
Pwede.
turn my pesos into crypto using this. That would be interesting to try. Okay, and then the other thing that I thought very interesting was it says exchange instantly, no forms, no selfies, trade crypto anywhere. So okay, there's two licensed exchanges on this podcast right now. So I guess yung first question in our minds is how does that work? Like how are you able to facilitate yung parang a conversion where you don't have tawag doon KYC no yung customer identity. The customer does not need to identify themselves in order to exchange their coins. How does that work for you guys?
Okay. First and foremost, Trust Wallet nga is decentralized. So it works outside of any centralized organization. But in 2018 yun nga, naging official wallet siya ni Binance. But yun lang yung only tie niya. We're still working independently from Binance, which is a centralized exchange. So yung exchange na nakikita nyo sa app, it's through a DEX or decentralized exchange. Merong natively embedded na kami sa app. Originally, it was Kyber Network, if you're familiar, guys.
Right.
But now, we've changed it to Uniswap. Siya na yung native DEX na kanya. So, primarily, it's Ethereum and ERC20 tokens. And then, recently, inad na rin namin, since nagkaroon nga ng Binance Smart Chain, meron na native integration ng PancakeSwap. So, pwede ka na rin mag-swap ng Binance Coin, BNB, to BEP20 tokens. And actually, prior to adding the PancakeSwap integration, meron ng Binance DEX, which is also another DEX by Binance under the Binance chain. Yan. Medyo nakakalito yun sa mga bagong user. There's two blockchains under the Binance ecosystem, Binance chain and Binance Smart Chain, but they both use the same token, BNB, which can be used in parallel in between. Pwede siya mag-jump in between the two chains.
Wow, you know what? I didn't realize na dalawa yun. I actually thought it was the same thing. Wow, okay. So BSC is not the same as Binance Chain. That's a different thing.
Yeah. Binance Chain was, yun yung initial launch niya, based sa Polkadot, sa Cosmos network, SDK. And then Binance Chain, EVM compatible siya para as work towards DeFi to have more accessibility sa mga users natin. Kasi ganun sa Ethereum, why not try it on Binance Chain also? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess on that note, let's do the first group of our raffle draw now. We've already got 132 names. So just quick reminder, everyone, in order for you to become eligible for our raffle, and we're going to give we're going to draw 10 names tonight. In order for you to be eligible, you have to comment at least once in the chat. And I know that many of you have already commented naman. But I have 132 unique names right now. I know that there's over 170 people watching. So I know that some of you might not have commented yet. So, just letting you know na hindi kayo masasali dun sa raffle draw if you don't comment. Obviously, if you comment an interesting question or an interesting comment, I'll highlight it also. So there's also that. That's pretty cool if you can do that. So, okay, so I'm going to switch over to my raffle screen right now. Here we go. And we're going to do our very first raffle draw for the night. And yeah, so we have 130, let's check, 150, wow, bilis na na. Okay, 156 unique names. I'm going to draw 3 names lang muna. Same rules apply as before. If you are an employee of Bloom, you can't win the raffle, obviously. If you have ever been a guest of the BloomCast, you cannot win. So I know that there are a bunch of people in the chat right now who have actually been speakers on this show. Sorry guys, you still can't win. We can't bend that particular rule for you. So here we go. I'm just gonna draw 3 names now. Winner number 1. Here we go. Gian Matilio, congratulations, you're the very first winner of the night. Winner number 1 of 9. Andrew, I'm gonna take down everyone's names for you, and then at the very end, we'll do a post kasi putting all of the winners' names out on Facebook so that you can use that as your reference. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Trust Wallet token. Thank you, Andrew. Picking my winner number 2 now. Here we go. Ian Samonte, congratulations, you're winner number 2. I'm putting your name down here. And then winner number 3, and then we're gonna move on to the main segment of the show. Here we go. Winner number 3. Ronel De La Viña. Next Tuesday will be 55K. Nice. This guy's an optimist. I like it. Ronel, congratulations. You are winner number 3. Okay, and with that, we are going to go into the main part of the show. So, okay, people in the chat, we put this episode together specifically because we wanted to talk to Nichelle about the incident with PDAX, with his company PDAX last week. We wanted to, a couple of things, no? I'm sure that a lot of people are not entirely familiar with all of the details that happened. So the first thing we want to get to the bottom of exactly what happened and remove all of the gossip and rumor and the FUD and all of that stuff. And then we want to get a sense of like what the current situation is like. Now, obviously, if you have questions for Nichelle, please just put them in the chat. We will highlight them and he'll try to answer as many of them as he can. However, I will ask that everyone stays polite, no? Because I was reading through the Reddit threads and some of the Facebook comments about this incident earlier when I was preparing for the show. And I know that you guys can get a little mean sometimes. So I want to make sure that everyone stays polite and civil. And we'll get to your questions. And I know that Nichelle, he volunteered to join this episode because he wanted to clarify this stuff. So I think that it's a show of good faith, and I hope that you guys can at least appreciate that he was willing to do this with us. Now, if you don't know what PDAX is, wow. Firstly, okay. But so they are, I would say, the most well-known of the order book exchanges here in the Philippines right now. They started in 2017. And maybe, Nichelle, this is the part where you can jump in and just tell us a little bit about PDAX and kind of how it started.
Sure. So maybe I can give a quick background then as to how it started to begin with, right? So I was a crypto trader for a while, maybe 2015, 16, 17. And I guess one of the reasons why I got into the space was because of the volatility, and there was really a lot of earning opportunities. And obviously coming back home, because I was living abroad at the time, when I came back home, I realized there's no exchange here yet, right? An order book exchange. And I strongly felt for the market to be really big, you need an order book exchange, right? You need traders to be able to trade with one another and have the best liquidity. Like the market will be in charge of liquidity. So that's how PDAX started. Obviously, we formed the company in 2017. We got our BSP license, I think, late 2018. And then commenced operations in 2019. So we've been operating for a year, at least for retail clients. And
then recently we're saying that parang the growth of the business surprised you a lot. I guess this year specifically, no?
This year was big. I guess you were in the market, Luis, in 2017. I think we saw something similar in 2017, but I guess where this is different is the trend is sustained, right? It's not it's not finicky, hindi siya yung parang week in, week out, nagbabago yung level of interest. This one was just a sustained growth in user activity.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the same for basically any crypto trader will tell you the same thing, no? Ang laki nung jump in the last I would say 3 to 4 months, and it is getting to the point na it does feel very sustained, for sure. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about how I first heard about this incident. Now, I'm just gonna read this really interesting excerpt of a Facebook post that I stumbled onto This was from Feb 16. At the time, I had no idea that anything was even going on. No, so I just saw this. It was shared with me, and I was like, "This can't be true." So I'll read it really quickly. If you are having a bad day, by the way, I'm not gonna list who wrote this, because I don't want to dox the guy. Anyway, so it says, if you're having a bad day, just know that a whale unloaded 316,000 BTC at 300,000 pesos each, instead of 2.3 million over at PDAX. So at the time, the correct price of Bitcoin would have been about 2.3 million pesos. And what he's saying is that someone accidentally sold 316,000 Bitcoin at 300,000 pesos each. PDAX immediately went down for maintenance ASAP in an attempt to fix the fiasco. Yup, someone got screwed over 632 billion in one click and took an entire exchange along with it. The quantity is massive. It's literally 10x the size of Tesla's stake, etc., etc. So, okay. So, firstly, when I first read this, I just dismissed it because it was kind of ridiculous, to be honest. And I know that Nichelle is going to clarify some of this, but like, even to an outsider, this is ridiculous on the face of it, because 316,000 Bitcoin, that's not the kind of thing that you can move in this day and age without every single whale alert like basically sounding off and saying that you've got that much, no? So that's the first thing. The second thing is 632 billion pesos. Maybe you guys don't know this, no? But that is larger than the total customer deposits of Union Bank Philippines. Every single customer deposit, every bank branch, every safe, every vault of Union Bank is only about 400, maybe about 500 billion pesos. So this amount exceeds the amount of the bank itself. So it is kind of quite an unbelievable amount to be throwing around. But anyway, so that was kind of the reason why I kind of dismissed it almost immediately. But Nichelle, you were gonna say that you had some points that you wanted to clarify about this. Like, where did it even come from? Yung this particular rumor.
Right. So obviously, there's no such whale trading on PDAX. Just to make that clear. There was never anyone who put in 316,000 BTC. But what was happening at the time, obviously, and as you pointed out, Luis, this has been happening for months already in the industry, is that there's just constant surge in activity, right? And systems usually aren't perfect. Given a confluence of certain events, they can certain aspects of it do fail, right?
Yeah.
And in this particular instance, as this order was being placed, one of the controls on the platform, which is the one that checks to make sure na pag nagbebenta yung client ng 316 BTC, that there's enough BTC in the wallet, was not functioning. So this order actually made it into the order book.
Okay.
A large sell order of BTC, but the BTC was never there, right? The BTC was never there.
Sige, so let's dive in a little bit further, but before that, let's go into media coverage, because I kind of want to also assess yung, kind of how the story started to move around, no? So this story, this screen cap from Philippine Star is from the following day. It says, the trading platform of PDAX suffered a major outage as the price of Bitcoin continues to hit new all-time highs, jumping past $52,000 for the first time. An incident early this week prompted PDAX to go on maintenance mode after a seller reportedly erroneously uploaded 316,000 Bitcoin at 300,000 pesos each instead of the 2.3 million price at the time. So I guess, so like you said, so that Bitcoin was not in the exchange. That there was no such seller. However, the exchange, I guess, erroneously displayed those numbers. Is that a fair way to explain it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's happening here now is that the news is just kind of starting to move around the industry now, and this is at this point like, I had friends who were messaging me asking if I had heard about it. or like if I had any insider information about it, because I mean Filipinos like to gossip, I guess, and yeah. So I really did not want to get involved in the conversation until I had a better idea of exactly what was happening internally with you guys. But then people started posting screenshots, and then at that point I was like, oh look, there's something here for me to look at. So ito yung sinasabi mo na
Right.
yung there's actually a 316,000 Bitcoin quantity sitting on the order book right here, and then there's a very low price at the bottom. That this is what you were talking about, in other words, no?
Right. So actually, if you look at this, no, this chart right here, and a lot of you are familiar with trading, this looks like a flash crash, right? A flash crash tends to happen if there's a massive order that's placed on the exchange that eats up all the outstanding bids, right?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. If there's a massive sell order, massive sell order, eat up all the bids, and then sa dulo, you get to whatever the price collar is for that particular instrument. In this case, I think the minimum was 300,000 pesos, which is why everything got done up to 300K.
One of the comments, by the way, people in the chat, I'm gonna try to get to your comments or your questions one at a time, huh? And so I'll just throw this one in the middle, and then let's see if we can get answers to everyone. So Cast Miner is asking, how did your trading UI? How was it that your trading UI was able to post the said order at 300,000 if it was unfunded?
Sure.
Can you release a detailed technical explanation? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
possible to say on a podcast, but
Well, look, I joined this podcast to be as transparent as possible, right? PDAX doesn't have anything to hide. And thank you for your question, Mr. Cast Miner. So the thing is, the order to buy 300,000 pesos was not the leg that was unfunded, right? So there was a legitimate order, and there's cash on the exchange, 300,000 pesos. However, it's the other leg, the seller. So remember, PDAX is just a platform for buyers and sellers, right? So in order for a transaction to be valid, both sides of the transaction have to deliver, right? The buyer gives the cash, the seller gives us the instrument
BTC,
or the
yeah.
crypto, and then boom, that's a valid trade. But in this case, there was nothing on the other side. So the 300K order, that's funded, but the other side was not.
Do you guys intend to? I mean, so Cast Miner is asking for a detailed explanation, a technical explanation, but I mean, I don't think that's necessarily something we can get into on this show. But do you intend to, like, in some open source projects, they do postmortems. The DeFi guys do this all the time, right? So they release a postmortem, and they'll actually explain exactly how the thing, whatever the event was, how it actually happened, and then what the steps are that they're taking to mitigate it for future parang reference.
Right.
Or is that something that you intend to do?
It's interesting you brought that up, right? Because exchanges go through this quite often, maybe in various forms, and sometimes you would see like how they ended up learning from it and improving their platform. In our case, definitely we're gonna look into it, right? Right now, our main priority is to get all of the affected accounts back on trading again. So I think we mentioned in our latest announcement that 0.2% na lang yung natitirang accounts na yet to be unlocked, and that is very true. Now, a lot of people might wonder, well, 0.2%, but nandun ako, right? Like, and you can see on social media, a lot are very vocal about it, and that's because the more active ones, the more the folks who were trading at the time that the glitch occurred, it would take siguro a longer and more careful reconciliation to restore the transactions.
So Attorney Raff, who is actually, there's more stuff about Attorney Raff and his clients later on in the presentations, but so he's saying that according to an anonymous affected user, I have a lot of Bitcoins in my PDAX account, thousands. So is this an example of what you were saying? It is those are not bitcoins that are actually on the exchange.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised, right? Do Are there people who hold thousands of bitcoins on PDAX? Uh, you can just imagine we're not a very wealthy country, right? So the fact that a lot of accounts would reflect really large balances is one good indicator that the initial order was probably unfunded, and it was.
Right. Right. Okay. So let me try to parang maybe explain it maybe in a different way because I can see that some of the comments in the chat are parang they're still kind of asking a similar questions. Now, so
Mhm.
what you're basically saying is that the wallet that is releasing Bitcoin when a customer does a withdrawal, it doesn't necessarily check if, or it was supposed to, but it didn't. It didn't check if the Bitcoin that they had on their balance had been funded properly. Is that parang nag-desynchronize yung releasing wallet from the actual trading engine? Is that what's happened there?
Right. So one of the no, it's funny I'm saying it now like this, but like one of the best practices kasi of like a crypto exchange is you separate the order matching system or the entire exchange platform from your wallet infrastructure. Obviously, this is supposed to serve as a security measure so you don't get hacked, etc., etc. So when you execute a withdrawal, right, a withdrawal request, it's an instruction to our wallet infrastructure to release BTC. It checks against whatever the exchange has recorded as your BTC balance. But on the wallet itself, that's actually a wallet infrastructure for the entire PDAX platform.
Okay. Um, Jet Serrano, how was it that those people who placed the order was able to? Well, I guess this is kind of the quest that ano, the question that we're trying to answer, no? So yeah, because hindi nga nakakonect yung releasing wallet dun sa order book exchange itself, and that's why they were still able to pull out their funds. Granted, if someone tried to pull out 316,000 Bitcoin worth, you would immediately
Right.
see that that releasing wallet does not have
Oh, that's
316,000
yeah,
Bitcoin
exactly.
because yeah,
Yeah,
because it doesn't
exactly.
exist on the exchange, right?
Yeah,
Correct,
exactly.
correct. Okay. Attorney Raf again. My client bought BTC for 20,000. Actually, you know what? Sorry. Before we answer this question, I'm just gonna jump to one of my other visuals because we've got this somewhere here. I'm just gonna jump directly to this now. Sorry, Raf. So I'll do this. Okay, so this is kind of the next stage in the story, no? So a few people were able to take advantage of the 300,000 peso Bitcoin price. I guess that's kind of the bottom line of it, and they were able to withdraw their Bitcoin from PDAX. And then I guess this was a day after the incident, na I think they posted on Reddit. I bought BTC at 300,000 pesos yesterday from PDAX. Managed to have custody. Need advice. So what he's saying is that. He says here, after almost 24 hours, they sent me a demand letter and SMS requesting me to transfer back the BTC, which was purchased well within my rights without violating any laws or regulations of the trading platform, or they may be compelled to take legal actions against me. Am I required to comply with their demands, or was the purchase legitimate and legal as I believe it to be? So, so this is the point at which kind of the crypto community, the local crypto community, really started to get involved in this story, because I guess on the one side you've got this kind of customer who's asking for help from the rest of the community, and then PDAX itself at this point, parang you hadn't really explained what was going on yet, no? So parang the community was still not clear on what exactly was going on with you guys. I assume you've already communicated with this customer directly, no? Nichelle?
So we've obviously we've reached out already to all the affected customers, and before I speak on it further, yeah, you're right. So we were delivering advice at the time, very shortly after we discovered the incident. Demand letter or threat of legal action. Actually, it was no. It's not really our place at the time to be as aggressive because we at the time we weren't very sure what was going on either, and that's a very honest way to put it. So I actually do apologize also to a lot of people who were offended. But that being said, what's the situation here? A lot of us are traders, and I understand like we look after the performance of our respective portfolios. But let's look at the big picture here, right? The big picture is that if you assume that an unfunded order makes it into the system, let's say a very large order makes it into the system, and then everyone who's part of the system are trading and trading and trading and trading, if you actually if you don't clean it out, right? If you don't remove the unfunded transactions from the system, then everyone's holdings will actually become impaired, right?
Yeah.
So there was choice legally, or I would say morally, for PDAX other than to, okay, you were able to buy unfunded BTC for 300,000. That would have been a very good price. If it were funded, I'd be very happy for you. But in this case, I'm sorry. You get your money back, right? So that's exactly what happened here. And the letters we sent out were really just a part of our efforts to restore the system back to a place where there's a lot of integrity.
Okay. So I'm going to read one more question from Raf. And I guess this is just to reiterate, I guess, what you were saying. No? The whale that would have been my client, if I'm fine to disregard client due diligence requirements. Okay, so what he's saying here is that the client who says that he had 1,000 Bitcoin on PDAX, he declined to identify himself, and that's why Raf couldn't represent him. As a lawyer, he can only represent people who identify themselves. That makes sense. So he's saying, in my book, a whale is somebody who has at least 1,000 BTC. So does this client really have thousands of BTC in PDAX? And I guess what you're saying is no, right?
So yes, yeah, I guess to put it quite simply here, right? The records of ownership got messed up because of the glitch, right? Was it embarrassing? Yes. Was it stupid? Absolutely. Was it malicious? No, right? There's no intent here to like defraud anyone or to take away anyone's legitimate gains. Now, while I won't really comment about specific client holdings, I will say that as a result of this unfunded order, there would be clients who would see so much Bitcoin in their wallets, but Bitcoin the kinds of which that you don't really see.
Okay. Um, some traders able to withdraw. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess this is the same question, pala. Let me move on to.
Oh, actually, if
Here.
I can take that, Luis, I think the
Yeah,
question,
sure.
the question was, what will happen if they were able to withdraw before the maintenance? So if
Okay.
you withdrew a transaction before the glitch, you will be able to do that. If you did it before the glitch, the assumption there was that it was funded. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. That's an interesting distinction. So, the client that attorney Raf is representing, the one who supposedly used about 20,000 pesos to buy that Bitcoin, is he one of those customers, or his a result of the glitch, right?
So definitely, if BTC was bought at a very cheap price, it's very likely that it was during the glitch because the glitch caused two things to happen, right? The glitch caused an unfunded order to come in, but that unfunded order also cleared out most of what's in the order book, right? So it would cause a crash in prices. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Karel is asking, I guess you were saying earlier na 99% of your user accounts have already been restored. So I guess there's still a handful who haven't. Is that,
Well,
what's
yeah,
the plan for that remaining 1%? or
Okay.
whatever it
So
is.
there's still a lot, right? There's still about uh, 400, more than 400, almost 500 user accounts that are right now still being reconciled and restored. And I kid you not, we are working around the clock to make sure that this happens quickly. And Karel and everyone who's watching this who are still unable to sign in, I have nothing to say other than we're very sorry, but we're working very hard to make sure that you get back to trading again. That is our main priority right now.
Okay, okay. Hold on. Let's see if there are other questions here. Okay. Data privacy compliant ba si PDAX? Because my understanding is you're fixing the accounts of traders in PDAX. Is it a data privacy issue? I guess because you would have to go into each of their accounts and review them, no? Although I guess you could already do that in the first place. I mean, you're a centralized exchange. It's not like those accounts were closed off to you previously, right?
Right. You're right. So as a maybe not so much a data privacy issue, but it is the role of a marketplace to make sure that you're not really protecting any one particular person here. Eh? You're not even protecting the exchange operator. The marketplace exists to serve all users of that marketplace. So the quote unquote fixing of the accounts or the restoration of balances and removal of the unfunded orders is all an effort to do exactly just that.
Okay. Um, there's one other question about. So this is actually something that I was slightly confused by. Was there an Ethereum issue also with the 300,000 peso Bitcoin? I'm actually super
Yeah,
confused about exactly what
right,
happened
right.
there.
Okay. Let me clarify. Let me clarify. So the unfunded BTC order was actually placed in the in the ETH BTC market. So
Okay.
if Bitcoin was being sold at a very low price, it means that Ether was being priced at an obscenely high price,
Okay.
right? So a lot of users also looked at their balances and like, wow, laki ng price ng like I'm now a billionaire because of my Ether holdings because the display also got distorted, the price
I see.
display.
I see. Okay. Kasi yung pag-convert nyo nung peso value of your Ethereum holdings, it's based on what the market price is. That's
Yeah, based
basically
on
what
the
you're saying.
yeah, correct. Based on the last traded price. It sounds
Whew.
very stupid, but that's
Yikes.
exactly what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That is. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can tell you that being both a software engineer and a startup founder myself, I feel for you guys because that sounds like a painful situation to be in.
Well, actually, I
Yeah.
feel more about no. To be honest, I genuinely feel bad about folks that we've not reached out to yet, right? Because I have been trading also for a very long time, and one of my biggest frustrations, Luis, was in trading in other venues was when they go down for a week or 2 weeks. In the case of two US based exchanges, and I couldn't reach them. I couldn't sign in. I don't know if nawala na yung coins ko. That is highly distressing. And at the time, we didn't have the right customer support to at least advise people what was going on.
Okay. Darren PA, I guess yung question is, would you consider what happened a security breach? Is it a security breach or is it just a software malfunction?
So a security breach implies malicious intent. We've done our investigation on this entire incident. We don't believe that there was anything malicious in it. It is not the result of a hack or anyone gaining unauthorized access into PDAX. It's really just a glitch, right? Triggered by a lot of volume that the system at the time was not really ready to handle.
Okay. Sige, so before I go on, I'm just gonna quick intermission lang to let everyone take
Sure.
a quick breather. Andrew, Aldrin, um, I assume you guys have heard about what happened with PDAX, no? Is this the kind of thing? So I can tell you. So maybe I'll start, no? So like internally, Bloom kind of was discussing what we knew about the incident, partially because we wanted to be maybe prepared for potential problems like this, for the future. Prepare the team, both whatever, have some processes ready, ganon. Andrew, Trust Wallet is a decentralized kind of, like, is this the kind of thing that is this the kind of news that you guys talk about internally, or were you just kind of watching lang?
To be honest, yung nangyari na yan sa PDAX, I've seen it maybe just light chatter, but yung actual na nangyari ngayon ko lang din nalaman. So
Okay.
it's really really hurts the local community on that part, but it's unavoidable.
Okay. So sige, like I think that given that the Trust Wallet is very associated with Binance, and Binance itself has had, not really a perfect track record with its software either, no? I mean, it's definitely had some software issues. But I think one of the reasons why Binance is kind of a very well-loved brand in the crypto industry globally is because they really, how shall I say this? If there's ever a question of whether or not your funds are safe, like they go overboard trying to make sure that your funds are show you that your funds are protected, no? And they'll parang return your money and stuff like that. And parang yun yung one of the baptisms of fire of the Binance exchange when they first got hacked. Actually, they've been hacked like a couple of different times now. And each time they seem to have survived it naman. So I find that's kind of an interesting parang playbook to refer to. Is that the kind of thing that you guys think about, like what the other exchanges have done in situations like this? Nichelle?
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, probably the best lesson that you can draw from us, what happened to Mt. Gox, right? Like, a lot of people, when they think of hacks, they think of like an external actor, etc., stole the keys, etc. But you can actually have a lot of controls in place to prevent these kinds of incidents. So like having your recon process in place regularly, doing it right. So this is also one of the reasons why, PDAX, is it a 24/7 market? Right now, no. Right? We have a daily recess at the end of the day, and that's really for us to also conduct recon. Do we want to be 24/7? We do, but it will take a careful ways
It's
to go.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's a very difficult proposition. Like for a startup to go from 8 hours a day to 24/7. That's a difficult transition for any
It's
company.
very difficult. Yeah. Well, ano naman, Luis? So our daily recess is at most 1 hour, right? So they
okay.
can still trade like
Pretty good.
the rest of the hours. But it's really a time for us to like check and clear everything that needs to be cleared that could bog down the system. Yeah.
Aldrin, you have your own parang following of crypto traders. I know that you guys tend to use more DeFi or DEX trading platforms, but were you guys talking about this incident when it happened? What was the chatter like on your side? Was this the kind of thing that you were discussing also, or not so much?
Actually, there are some users asking what's happened to their accounts, why they are unable to access it. So they are just
Sa channel
asking
mo?
sa channel, yeah, mostly sa comment. So I just let them know na lang to write into the support, because me personally, I don't have enough idea on what happened exactly. Yeah, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I think that like if we've got our own parang small groups or communities, probably better not to speculate too much because
Yeah.
baka mali pa yung masabi natin or whatever. Like we don't have the full story either. So that's what we're trying to get down to together here. One of the questions from Michael, this is from Mike Mislos from Bitpinas. Hi Nisha, thank you for doing this. Does PDAX have systems in place to make sure users are not able to place a buy or sell order way beyond the market price? So in traditional stock exchanges, this is called a circuit breaker. This is the kind of system that we are starting to see implemented by some order book exchanges. I believe Huobi does this, but I'm not sure who the other exchanges are that are already have it in place. So basically, mangyayari dyan, para may threshold na pag bumaba beyond a certain percentage yung price during a very short period of time, the circuit breaker is thrown and matatrigger siya, and what happens is trading is suspended. Is that something that you plan to put in because of this experience?
Right. So it's a great question. So there are actually a lot of controls that can be prescribed onto exchanges to prevent something like this from happening. So one is, as you mentioned, the circuit breaker, and another actually that you see more often in exchanges are price collars, right? So in other words, you can't place a bid that's way too above market, way too below market, or offers that are way too above market. And this is just for to protect other users in times when liquidity all of a sudden runs low. So actually, these are controls that we keep on adding into the exchange. The reason why we do a lot of maintenance work is because the platform itself is not yet perfect, right? So we're constantly adding things as we go along. I think for the other pairs, right, Mike, you would notice that there are price collars in place. So you can't place an order for Bitcoin at 1 peso, for example.
I see. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. Carl Eric has been posting this comment a couple of times now, so I'm going to make sure we just highlight it. Will we get compensations for all the opportunities that we miss, especially to those who are still unable to log in? I'm not really sure what compensations he is aiming for, but I guess it's because the price of Bitcoin has changed significantly over the last 3 or 4 days. No, I guess that's what he means.
Yeah. So look, I can sympathize with every trader out there who's unable to trade on the price action the way it was over the past week. What I can commit to is this. All right. After this incident, and after we put in place the necessary infrastructure within PDAX to really scale up, because I do want to point out also, we are a startup. We're a small company. We have under 50 people. We're all Pinoys. But after this incident, our plan to scale up is firmly in place, and we should be able to offer much better service. And eventually, you can expect very exciting things out of PDAX also.
Okay. And I think that goes without saying, because like you guys are going to, this is your baptism of fire, I guess, this particular incident right now. Raf is asking, who is PDAX's insured? I'm sorry, I actually didn't hear you say that they said assets in the platform were insured. Did you say that earlier?
No. So assets on the so the wallet infrastructure. I made the distinction between the wallet infrastructure and the platform itself. So our wallet solution carries insurance for some specific incidents. And unfortunately, I can't disclose too much beyond that because it's part of a non-disclosure. But yeah.
Okay. So sige. So not the I would say not the order matching system, but the wallet. The wallet infrastructure that you guys are using to actually store the assets, that is it fair to say that is insured?
Yeah. It carries some insurance coverage for specific events. Yep.
But this is not one of those events, I imagine.
No, it's not one of those events. To be honest, like this event is not. This event is I would say quite unique. No, quite unique.
Mm-hmm. Wendell is asking when will be your next update regarding the locked accounts. It's almost 8 p.m. Wow, it's just like I didn't realize he was like expecting hourly updates, but okay, it's almost 8 p.m. yet we haven't received any update. Um, did you
Sure.
guys make a commitment that you were gonna update sometime today, kasi?
Yeah, we did. So
Okay.
I think I'll use this channel to say to the team that
Okay.
please release the update. So one of the things that we really messed up, Luis, and I'll admit to this, was we weren't able to send regular updates of the situation. Right,
Mhm.
we were firefighting when in fact we should be doing more communicating, and I think it caused a lot of grief to many of our users.
Okay. So I'll tell you briefly, parang one of the internal conversations that we had at Bloom when we were kind of talking about like your situation. I think one of the things that we said, like if we were in your position, would probably have done a live stream pretty early on in the experience. But that's because we're us, and PDAX is obviously a completely different company. But parang we would have probably used the BloomCast as a way to immediately start addressing people. That being said, I do completely understand also yung situation that you're under, where if you don't know exactly what the problem is yet, it's hard to start addressing people directly about it because baka mali pa yung masabi mo, and then now you're kind of locked into that particular statement or whatever. So it's tricky, no? It's a very strange situation that you guys have found yourself under. Um, let's see if can find some other questions here. Uh, what? Okay. Best way for PDAX to restore goodwill with its users is to give out Binance referral links. Okay, I don't think they're gonna do that, guys. Sorry. That being said, we are sponsored by Trust Wallet, the direct official Binance digital wallet. So this is not a Binance referral link, but it's sort of like that because you'll probably be able to use those Trust Wallet tokens on Binance to trade on that exchange. But anyway, okay. Let's see if we can find any more. Celia was like, so was it a case of fat fingers? So this is so when we say fat fingers, that's like when a trader is typing too fast and he just kind of hits the wrong numbers because nagmamadali siya. I don't think that was the case here, no? I think what you were saying was there's no trader that's fat fingering these trades.
So at this point, it's always very difficult to speculate already, like what the user was really intending to do at the time. All we know is that it it yeah it triggered a glitch, right? Yeah, so yeah, fat fingers or mistake or yeah, we don't
Yeah.
really know.
Okay. Okay, all right. There are some other comments here. I don't know if you guys want to keep going. It's gonna get. Hold on. Whew. Actually, okay. Maybe this one is worth parang just responding to. So, Attorney Rafi said that they submitted a consumer complaint, earlier today, and I guess that's just gonna be one of the things you're gonna have to face, no? I saw that you did a press conference earlier today, and you were saying how you believe that all your customers have a right to parang have themselves represented the way they see fit, no? Maybe you could repeat that for the audience also so they can hear it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if I were a consumer and I was thinking about how I can be very opportunistic, I would want to I would want to see the full extent of my rights. And one of your rights really is to get represented and uh, express your views as you see fit. However, I think in this particular instance, right, this is not really about maintaining personal gains, etc. But this is about ensuring public good, right? And the public good here is the trust that we have in a marketplace, right? That we can rely on to facilitate orders that are all safe and funded. And look, uh, I'll tell you this, right? If the orders were funded, right? Someone did sell 300,000 bitcoins for no for 300,000 pesos each. I'd be one of the first few people to celebrate because that's amazing for the Philippine economy, right?
Mhm.
But that was not the case, right? So I guess what we have to ask ourselves also, not just not just legally, but also morally, um, uh, because of this glitch, is it the right thing to do to um, to walk away with something that was not really supposed to be obtained, or is the right thing to do um, uh, calling it a day, calling it a mistake, and we go home with the money that we initially put in.
Brian Belvis is asking. So you've said your support is under 50. I'm not actually sure what he means. 50 people, I guess? Or correct me if I'm wrong. And in your statement with Miss Mimi, I'm not sure who that is. Do you plan to triple that? How can you assure it will happen? Um, okay, I think he's talking about how you're planning to triple your workforce, your team size this year. Is that right? Is that how you interpret this question? I'm not actually sure what he's saying here.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, no secrets here. The company itself has just under 50 employees, right?
Okay.
So within that company, we have customer support, we have operations, we have finance, we have engineers, right? So obviously, we're a startup, but this is the time for us to really scale up.
Okay. Um, Not related to the incident, but when are we gonna get more coins on the platform? maybe maybe let's stabilize things first before we start adding more assets.
Right. So I can be very transparent with this, right? Like we really want to add tokens into the platform, but obviously the focus right now has to be in resolving what got us into this incident, and also reaching out to all of the affected users, and ultimately regaining the trust that the marketplace has put on the platform. At the end of the day, like what kind of marketplace will it be if we treat glitches as a windfall, or we profit from failures in automation, or failures in the platform. The long-term good here, the long-term common good here for everyone, is to have a platform that they can trust and rely on, and see it grow going forward.
Celio is suggesting, as a form of goodwill, maybe the buyers can give back some balato back to PDAX. I would feel a bit of guilt if indeed it was a mistake by the seller. I'm not sure this is gonna solve the problem.
Well, yeah, that's no, that's yeah. Look, alam mo, I was a trader too, right? Like it's not easy to let go of gains. It's not easy to return back money when you find something. But the thing is here, like this is not no, guys. This is not. This was not a trading opportunity, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but it was not. It's an error in automation, an error in the platform, and we can't treat errors as a windfall opportunity, just because we were able to take advantage. So yeah, we essentially had things that didn't exist on the platform, and unfortunately, that's what was bought and sold.
Okay, I'm gonna read one quite long comment. It's gonna be a bit rough, so I'll kind of just manage
Sure.
everyone's expectations for now. No, so Justine is saying, no phone or call support. All automated emails coming from support. Funds are safe. Is all that we got. It defeats the purpose of crypto. Decentralized exchanges with low fees are booming. Well, actually, decentralized exchanges with low fees are not exactly low fees. Anyway, well, that's beside the point. What do you think you can offer to us users of PDAX, which is centralized? Um, I
Right.
think that's wow. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I guess you get the picture, right? I don't have to like leave this on screen, but
No,
I
no, no.
guess.
That's very valid. That's very valid,
Yeah.
Luis. Look,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I'll admit it. Like, were we not responsive? I think we weren't. Right? We were not. We could have been more responsive, but we weren't. So, uh, what about okay, decentralized exchanges? Look, to be honest, I actually think different market models have different costs and benefits, right? So a decentralized exchange, you can get on it very quickly. Anonymity is protected. You have your privacy, and you get your transactions. And sometimes it could be in coins or tokens that are not really listed on centralized exchanges. But why would anybody ever trade on a centralized exchange? I'll tell you why. It's precisely because of situations like this that PDAX is in now. Uh, why am I saying that? Because if this were to happen in a decentralized exchange or an unregulated exchange, you will not have the protection of government agencies to help you or to oversee the company. And I guarantee you, like we are everything that we're doing right now is being overseen closely by the BSP. As a consumer, you won't have that protection or that safety net. So obviously there are trade-offs, right? But you can make the trade-off that is best for you as a trader.
Are you prepared to make some kind of commitment to the remaining accounts about like when they can expect their accounts to become available again? It sounds like we've got a few people in the chat who have been kind of asking that over and over again. Kasi.
Sure, sure. Okay, let me explain also why it was so easy for us to get from 95,000 users restored to 98, yeah, to 99, 97 to 98 and a half, all the way to 99.8, but much difficult for the rest. Because what are we doing here? Diba there's this unfunded order that eventually got bought and sold and resold, etc. We have to retrace every single transaction that was impaired by that unfunded order, and this is what makes things difficult. We have to uh, restore things in sequence, right? So the accounts that were very active at the time of the glitch, it just so happens that kayo yung accounts that are still left. And I'm very sorry that we have not been able to get you back online again. But we have not been sleeping to make sure na you can get back into your accounts.
Um, are you able to give any kind of estimate about how much longer they will need to wait before they can get access?
Uh, uh, okay, so I can tell you the progress, right? So out of the remaining 480 accounts, we expect that around half of that will be resolved before midnight tonight, right? And the rest of the accounts obviously will be investigating and reconciling through the night. Hopefully, we all want you to trade again. So that is the commitment that at this time
Okay.
I'm firmly making.
Okay, all right. So you heard it here, guys. At least half of those remaining accounts will probably be, by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, you should have access to it again. And then I guess we'll see about the remaining half, and hopefully, I assume na yun kasi yung pinakamadugo na accounts. That's why it's taking so long with them. Okay, but the exchange itself is up and running. Is that right? Like are all of the functionalities like operational?
Yeah, so it's back on. You can sign up, create an account, go through KYC, cash in, cash out, buy, sell, crypto deposit, crypto withdrawals. The only caveat I would say there is that while this reconciliation is ongoing, crypto withdrawals are not yet a straight through process, right? So normally, kasi when you input the address, the exchange automatically just sends the crypto out. So there will be delays there, but we have sufficient manpower on hand making sure that these withdrawals are cleared and approved as soon as they come.
Okay. All right. So we're running out of time, guys. We've got about 8 minutes left. I know that there's going to be a lot more questions, but I think we tried as much as we could to answer all of them. We tried to, I guess, give clarity to as many of you guys as we could. If there continues to be questions, and if this incident continues to have like developments up till next week, maybe we could do a follow-up just to kind of address some other concerns. But I think we'll probably have to leave it at that, just because we've been talking for about 90 minutes now, and we've got 7 more names to award for our raffle. Andrew, I'm gonna go back to Trust Wallet really quick, because this is really the sponsor of this episode. Before you arrived on the show earlier, Nichelle, Andrew and I were talking about how it's kind of, I don't know if it's ironic or if it's poetic, that the sponsor of the show is a decentralized version of crypto asset management, and then you're very much a representative of the centralized version of this business. And I think, but you said it very well earlier, that that there is pros and cons to both business models. There's a pro and a con to both types of products. Andrew, say something to our audience. What's the one thing that you are really proud of about Trust Wallet? Obviously you guys were acquired by Binance in 2018, but other than that, I guess, what's the one thing that people should be looking for when they install Trust Wallet for the first time? What's the one thing they should be looking forward to?
Okay. Primarily, ang usage kasi ng Trust Wallet is for everyone to have their own custody of their assets. So, yun nga yung aim ni Trust Wallet, to have crypto become more accessible to anyone. I understand the fact na yun nga, sa trading, isang feature natin sa crypto, it's also available in Trust Wallet, and it does happen as well in decentralized exchanges that sometimes they have medyo mababa yung liquidity ng token, or napataas yung sell order. It does happen. However, yung sa app naman, it has a security in place that warns the user prior to them actually submitting a transaction. So there's a lot of checkboxes that needs to happen before ma-process yung ganun. So that's one thing that I can say that's the difference with being in the centralized. You have full control over what you're doing with the wallet. And currently, yun nga, maraming supported na assets, so you can store them because may ibang assets na nasa Binance currently, hindi sila pwedeng i-stake. So when you have it on Trust Wallet, you can have native staking of those tokens to earn interest, besides currently yung mag-appreciate yung price. And also yung current na trend ngayon, yung sa DeFi nga, it allows access to dApps. So not just Ethereum dApps, Binance Smart Chain. Marami tayong supported dApps sa Trust Wallet, which allows a user to get more out of their funds. So basically, they can participate in DeFi. They can lend their assets. If it's just idle, then you can borrow, do staking as well. Mag-earn ka ng additional talaga na funds. So that's one thing that we're seeing in the recent growth of Trust Wallet. We're currently about, just for Android, 5 million downloads.
Nice.
And one of the biggest markets din namin is, or yung users basis from Philippines. So we're really happy to see. And even my boss, Victor, I think he's happy to see that my countrymen is really supporting our product.
Nice. Yeah, the whole I feel sometimes like altcoins are more popular in this country than kind of the majors, because I guess the altcoins kasi magalaw yung price, so it's exciting to speculate on them, and then the per unit cost is small, so feels it's a little bit easier to get into it if you're just playing around with a small amount of money. That being said, obviously trade wisely, guys, and do your homework.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter what wallet or what exchange you're doing. Ultimately, the asset that you're trading, you still have to do that research for yourself. I think that's kind of something you always have to remember. Um,
I
yeah,
also want to add then, syempre, if you're going to use a decentralized wallet, as what I've been reiterating earlier, it's your self-custody wallet, so responsible ka sa security niya. So sa Trust Wallet kasi, meron kang 12-word recovery phrase that you need to keep secure. Kasi yun na yung pinaka-access keys mo. Not your keys, not your wallet. Kung malose mo yan o mabigay mo sa iba, then technically you're giving or losing your funds in that manner. So just keep it safe and secure, and then be happy with your holdings.
yeah, great. Sige. So Andrew Magpantay is the community manager of Trust Wallet. He's kindly offered to sponsor this show. And we've got 7 more winners to announce. We have 3 already. That's Jihan, Ian, and Ronel from earlier in the episode. And we are going to draw 7 more names now. So here we go. We're drawing winner number 4. Attorney Raf, I'm sorry you can't win, even if even if you technically haven't guested on the show yet this year. That doesn't reset. However, you can look forward to your next BloomCast appearance na lang. Hopefully that'll be kind of a nice little reward for you later on, maybe. Here we go. Winner number 4. Nimesho Mosura. That is I'm not sure if that's a real name, but okay. Congratulations. You are winner number 4. Just putting your name in here. Okay, one more. Here we go. Winner number 5. Okay, so I guess this guy's an Axie player based on his name. So Novice Axie Coffee. You know what? You're lucky that the sponsor does not KYC its customers, because I don't think papasaka with your fake name. But congratulations, Novice Axie. You are winner number 5. Winner number 6. Here we go. Yeah, wow. That's it. That's his name. That's like, wow. I didn't realize you could do like 4-letter names anymore on Facebook, but congratulations, Kya. I guess you're winner number 6. Winner number 7. Oh, sheesh, what? Sorry, hold on. Audio glitch. Okay. Cannot. Israel Keys is one of the founders of Bloom Solutions. Obviously, he cannot win. That's the 3rd time that I've drawn the name of my co-founder on a raffle here. I don't know why. The odds were 1 in 250, and I still managed to do it again. Winner number 7. Fitzgerald Villafuerte. Congratulations, you are winner number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 3 more to go. Winner number 8. Christian Parado. Christian Parado, you are winner number 8. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. 2 more names now. Let me just check the chat really quick. Founder always wins in raffle. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the founder does always win in raffle. Something wrong with my comment picker, maybe. Winner number 9. Irish Christopher Alfon. You are winner number 9. Last name. Here we go. By the way, Andrew, like, what's the how are you going to reach out to them? You're just gonna reach out to them individually and then ask them for their TWT addresses. Is TWT a ERC20 token, by the way?
Currently, it's a BEP2 and BEP20. It's both Binance blockchain assets.
I see. Okay.
So they just need to have Trust Wallet installed, and if you can give me the names, I'll reach out to them for their address.
Great. Sige. So that's cool. Winner number 10, last winner for the night. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Trust Wallet for sponsoring. Oh. Ah. Really? Okay, sorry. Sorry guys. The comment picker broke. Syempre, right as I was doing that last draw. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait. Sorry, technical issues now. See, this is the problem because when you don't actually build your own comment picker app. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. Hopefully this is gonna work this time. Here we go. Winner number 10, last winner for the night. Ezekiel Inco. Congratulations. That is our 10 winners. That's Jihan, Ian, Ronel, Nemesho, Novice Axie, Kya, Fitzgerald, Christian, Irish, and Ezekiel. Congratulations. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for participating and always supporting the BloomCast. Thank you for all your questions and helping us just talk about this. The thing about the PDAX incident, I think it's not just relevant to PDAX, the company. It's also relevant to the local crypto community itself. No, I think we're all going to learn some important lessons about kind of how this stuff is supposed to be both handled and how the audiences, the market is supposed to react to it, how the community is supposed to react to it. All of that stuff is going to be. It's very, very educational. It's a very interesting time for this to be happening. And I guess it was kind of inevitable that it was going to happen when Bitcoin is at some kind of all-time high, no? Because that is when there's so much new energy in the space, there's so much more activity in the space. And with companies like PDAX, companies like Bloom, we're all working our asses off to try to keep up with the demand, no? Like I said, we're all human. We make mistakes. I think what's most important here is that we try to rectify those mistakes. And we try to grow ideally together. And I'm hoping that we can kind of continue to keep the show a neutral ground for all of these types of discussions. I mean, on a certain level, because PDAX and Bloom, we're competing businesses, no? But like, I don't consider just because the businesses are competing, I think Nichelle is a peer, and I certainly respect what they're doing in PDAX, and I certainly I feel for them with like how difficult this last week has been. So with that being said, Aldrin Rabino, you've been kind of quiet for the last hour. I'm sorry that this show didn't have a lot more trading and technical analysis stuff, but I think that your analysis and your contribution is also always very important. This is a crypto show. We got to talk about the price. So Aldrin Rabino, thank you so much for joining. Where can people find more of you and your work on the internet after the show?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Louis. So yeah, all social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Crypto Fortune. Yeah.
Bro, do you have like a regular parang live stream schedule also? Or is it more parang more loose yung schedule mo?
Sa YouTube, sometimes pag okay yung market, nagbibigay ako ng updates, pero when I see something like there's a something like yung nakita natin kanina na there's a bearish divergence, I keep on something like update lang siya, not financial advice, but I parang paalala na there's something bearish divergence here. Yeah, consider the risk in crypto, not only on the reward. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. All right. We hope to have you back on the show in one of our next few episodes. I think that it's always good to have at least one person on the show who knows how to use a Fibonacci. I don't know what you would call it, a Fibonacci instrument on the order book. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is not my area of expertise. Sorry, guys. I'm more of an announcer. Nichelle Gaba, PDAX.ph, thank you so much for joining us. I assume you're gonna have a busy night. Where I guess if people don't already know where to find you, maybe reiterate where they can maybe subscribe to updates of what's going on with you guys. How about that? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Oh, thank
There you
you.
go.
So yeah, for sure. No. Before I leave our contacts, I just want to say na this issue, as Luis mentioned, I guess in large part does affect the broader crypto community. Not that we're the biggest player or like whatever, but that um, uh, an order book exchange is a very different operating model that we all could learn of its, I guess, its pros, its weaknesses, its faults, and also the benefits of using one. And I do believe na once we finish all of our remediation work, obviously in collaboration or in close coordination with the BSP, we should be able to come back and create a more trustworthy market and high integrity market for everyone.
Well said. Where can people find more of you and
Yeah.
your team?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So PDAX.ph. If you have an account that's still not accessible, you can also email restore@pdax.ph.
Thank you so much, Nichelle. Thank you for the time. I know that you guys have probably not been sleeping much. We wish you luck, and we hope for a speedy resolution to all of the accounts that are currently still unaccessible. Andrew, thank you so much to Trust Wallet. Thank you to your team for sponsoring tonight's show. Where can people find more of you and Trust Wallet online?
I just want to say, just in closing, before you
Of
tell
course,
those
yeah,
who
please.
listen.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Kasi yung crypto space, it's still in its early stages. So it's just 10 plus years that we've been seeing this market grow. So I don't see that getting into competition with others is really not the right move for everyone. Kasi being Trust Wallet, marami ding wallets, and then Binance and PDAX. Marami mga exchanges. So everyone has their strengths and their downsides. So we just need to work things out and find differences and fix them. So with regards to that, you can always find me in our community. We do have a dedicated community forum. It's community.trustwallet.com. It's also like our knowledge base for everything related to Trust Wallet. We also have our social media channels in Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, and also in Instagram, and I think also TikTok, but I don't do TikTok much. So hindi nyo
Okay.
makikita doon.
Okay.
Also, being that we're in Binance, yeah, if you're trying to join the crypto journey, you can start with Trust Wallet, use your credit card to buy your crypto. Or with Binance, it does support P2P, which is, I think it's very convenient for a lot of our users. You can use your bank accounts or Gcash and PayMaya and some other forms of payment to jump in and take the ride with crypto. So thanks, guys, for your participation.
Thanks so much, Andrew, for sponsoring. Thank you so much, Trust Wallet, for the generous sponsorship. Maybe we'll see you guys again next week with some updates, possibly on the PDAX situation. Maybe we'll have Algin back. Maybe we'll talk about how Bitcoin is back over $50,000. So my fingers are crossed. Thank you, everyone, for watching. My name is Luis. I'm one of the founders of Bloom Solutions. You have been watching the BloomCast. We'll be back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Hope you keep watching the show. Thanks,